What's up guys, Steven Dux here. Today I'm going to talk about my monthly performance. In February I made around 160,000. In January I made around 254,000. In this month it's a little bit slower than the previous month. And there's not as much opportunities that we had for the past 2 weeks. So one of the major plays that I did was on FTNW. This ticker was spiking huge in pre-market. Once they had the morning spike, you continue to fit it all day and today as well. I didn't get the opportunities. But I think one of the major thing is to wait for the right setups to come. You have to be always focused on not try to overtrade throughout the boring times, because if you don't get the play and you feel like the market owe you money, that's going to end really bad. And you're gonna force yourself to play one stock, and if you lose the first one, then you feel like I need to make my money back, then you force another trade. So it will cause endless chain reactions for you to start overtrade, and that habit is not good. Majorly that the market has been changed for a little bit. We have seen massive amount of volume trading on either bounce short, gap up short. So you have to be really careful paying attention to the volume. Volume tells you everything. Crowded volume tells you that when the stock gets crowded, it's leaning towards the long side. Now when the stock is trading less volume, it's leaning towards to the short side. It doesn't have to be leans towards to the short side, but if it doesn't have enough liquidity, if it's on a downtrend, you will lose more liquidities. Once it loses more liquidities, stock is going to continue to drop. Some tickers for tomorrow, BSQR. This is one of the tickers that we can pay attention to. I think it released its earnings winner. It doesn't really have that much resistance in the history. Now, one of the thing is when the stock pushes over, let's say, a consistent resistance zone, if it's getting too crowded, flow rotated about 2, 3, 5 times, it becomes unpredictable. You have to trade like a fresh chart, especially when you're using consistence, not individual resistance. So for consistent resistance, as you can see, let's say the consistent resistance is around $6. And now you see those little bit of volume trading on this consolidation zone, but it doesn't really camp a lot of backwards in there. So when the stock trade, let's say trade about 20 million shares hitting at 6, yes, it is a resistance, but if it starts to trade and having its flow rotation, it is not really tradable. Once it breaks the consistent resistance, once it falls to come back, it will have that support level. So I have tested many times that if you are using consistent resistance and if the stock starts to flow rotate, it's really easy to break the consistent resistance. I've seen a couple examples, and one of the ticker I was really be careful on was on ACHV. Now look at, now there's a loads of resistance on this chart, a bunch of resistance at $6-ish, and it spikes to expected to 4.48. Now on this ticker, the intraday traded about 70 million shares. In the morning, I saw that okay, well, the stock is going to overwhelm the resistance volume. What should I do there? So when you see that loads of volume traded at open, don't force yourself in. Especially you see the candle. If I pull up the 2-minute candle in, especially you see the candle that's trading over 800,000 and 1 million volume at open. If you force yourself into at open, then either you're gonna get squeezed on the short side or you're gonna get faked out on the long side, because there's so much action in the morning. It's better just to wait for about, let's say, 10 minutes until the stock slows down first, then just use the pattern, try to figure out the stock is slowing down, it's doing some kind of consolidation, and this is my chance to go. Now for a crowded stocks, especially trading, let's say 50, 70 million, 100 million volume on an intraday, you will always have an opportunity to go in intraday. You will never lose any kind of opportunities. For go long, on the long side, if the stock's getting crowded, most of the time the stock pulls back and start to squeeze. So I will probably try to lean towards the long side, especially on lower flow. Once it trades massive amount of volume and starts to consolidate, then you can think about shorting. But shorting into crowded stocks is super dangerous. So it's the last couple days in February. Hope there's something can pop up. I think I'm doing pretty good in February, and haven't had a red month since August. Maybe a little bit earlier. Yeah, that's about it. Nothing really happening on February. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.